One of the clients agreed to an anonymous confession, because he believes it will make him feel better. Additionally, he is seeking advice. Below is the text of his confession. To protect anonymity, the images and voices have been altered using advanced technology. This has made it possible to share my guests' deeply personal and morally complex story in full detail with a wide audience, without fear of revealing their identity. It allows for honest feedback from viewers, which may help ease the burden on my guest's heart and provide advice from a large number of objectively minded individuals. Names, locations, and some details have been changed for privacy reasons. Any similarities are purely coincidental. The story is presented as a work of fiction, even if it is based on real events or emotions.
I know I'm a selfish jerk, unworthy of respect. But I need to tell this story, even anonymously. I don't even know where to start. Maybe with this: I love Gabby. Not just love, I breathe her. She's not just my girlfriend or fiancée, she's the meaning of it all. Everything I've done over the past few years, I've done with her in mind. We've been together for 5 years, and not once have I thought about another woman. Gabby could make me laugh, captivate me with conversation, and in bed, she gave me everything I ever wanted. When I proposed to her on top of that cliff in Utah, I truly believed we'd be together forever. That I would never look at anyone else, because I simply wouldn't need to. Nothing else would ever matter. But I'm not here to justify myself. Sometimes, you don't even notice when you take the first step off the edge. Nikki is Gabby's cousin. They were like sisters growing up, though Nikki was always different. Wilder. A bit tougher, more direct. And beautiful. Not like Gabby, gentle and bright like a spring morning, but different. Like the night. Like danger. And I swear that never appealed to me. Or at least I thought so. I don't know. Of course, we talked a lot. Nikki spent a ton of time with Gabby. They went to college together, even lived together for a while. After our engagement, Gabby and I set the wedding date for next year and moved in together to get used to life as a couple before officially becoming a family. Nikki was always around. I introduced her to Jason, my friend and colleague. We hung out as a group, and Jason was instantly drawn to her bold, playful energy. They hit it off quickly. I don't want to sound rude, but Nikki always had a thing for the exotic, and Jason is Asian. His parents immigrated from Vietnam. She welcomed his attention, and they became a couple. The four of us spent a lot of time together, working out, going to movies, playing video games, bowling. Double dates, picnics, late-night parties. Maybe it sounds hypocritical, but Nikki sometimes irritated me. I could see Jason falling harder for her every day, while to her, he seemed like a fun little adventure. That bothered me. I tried to talk to him, but he just got angry, as if I were meddling in his private life. Gabby was on Nikki's side. Eventually, I accepted that Nikki would be part of our lives. Like in that song, You and Me and Your Friend Steve. I got used to her. Even started enjoying her company. Sure, she used Jason, ignored him when she felt like it, but accepted his gifts and declarations of love. But is it my fault he's blind? He's not my brother or childhood friend, just a coworker. And I started to realize I even liked how Nikki treated him. Like a cougar to a naive, not-so-bright deer. Her sarcasm, the way she handled him, it came off sexy. And with us, she was the opposite, funny, open, kind. That disarmed me. She'd call me in the middle of the night for some advice about her future life alone. It all felt harmless. Sometimes she'd wear those tops, short, tight, almost by accident, but not really. I caught myself staring. And immediately felt ashamed. She's Gabby's cousin. What the hell am I thinking? Everything changed when Jason broke up with her. He invited me to a bar, just a guy's night out. I was surprised, he'd never done that before. But I went. He looked crushed. I didn't understand what was going on. He said he'd finally opened his eyes, Nikki was toxic. That he should have listened to me long ago. I tried defending her. It makes me sick to remember that. But he cut me off, looked at me in a strange way, and said Nikki had kissed another guy. I couldn't believe it. Sure, she was sharp, sarcastic, but cheating? For all of us, that was a red line. But Jason was certain. And when he realized I wasn't on his side, he got angry and left the bar without another word. I don't know the details. But 2 days later, he disappeared from Nikki's life completely. Something broke inside her. She started crying, begging me to stay with her. A few times, it seemed like she was on the verge of a nervous breakdown. Gabby explained to me that Nikki was actually very dependent on attention. Yes, she acted confident, but it was just a mask hiding a vulnerable girl underneath. Gabby had known Nikki her whole life, so I didn't doubt her assessment. Strangely enough, discovering Nikki's fragile side only drew me to her more. We visited her together for a while, but then Gabby got a promotion and asked me to check in on Nikki alone for some time. Now I realize Gabby's trust in me was absolute, and that I'm the worst kind of scumbag for doing what I did. At first, I really was just a nice guy dropping by with pizza. We played some fighting games or shooters on the console. Gabby never suspected that anything could happen between me and her cousin. I never thought it could. I loved and wanted only my fiancé. I kept telling myself that then, and I still do. Sure, Gabby's promotion and all the wedding preparations took up a lot of time, and we weren't as attentive to each other as before. But that's normal, right? That's just how it goes. Meanwhile, Nikki thanked me for the support, saying she'd never lived alone before, so being by herself was hard, especially after how cruelly Jason had dumped her. I remember that wretched day perfectly. It was a Wednesday. Gabby was supposed to come with me to visit Nikki, but at the last minute, she got a call about the wedding and stayed home. I went to Nikki's alone, just as a friend. As a good guy. At first, she was calm, even seemed cheerful. But then I must have triggered something, I don't even remember what I said, maybe accidentally mentioned Jason, and suddenly she started crying. I went to comfort her, hugged her, let her rest her head on my shoulder until she calmed down. Everyone has moments of weakness when emotions just pour out. I get that. I thought she was doing better, and I'd be back with Gabby in just a few minutes. Then she looked up at me, something in her gaze, so tender, so intense, and kissed me. The touch of her soft lips stunned me. I admit it, I kissed her back. I know I'm trash. And I'll regret what happened until the end of my days. But I chose to tell this story here, so I won't lie, especially since all names have been changed, and you won't be able to find me. So yes, I kissed her back. At first, I thought it was just a silly moment, a way to vent emotion, nothing serious. But we kissed for several minutes, and by the time our lips parted, we were both completely aroused. I realized I was standing on the edge of a cliff. I tried to laugh it off, play it down as nothing. She seemed to go along with it. For a moment, I thought it would remain a harmless little secret. But seconds later, we were tearing each other's clothes off. It was like a blackout and a flash, something primal. A release of tension for both of us. Please, I know what you're thinking, but haven't you ever had a moment of weakness? I went home shortly after, jumped in the shower, and acted like nothing had happened. I told Gabby I was tired of Nikki's whining. She believed me. Maybe I'm a better liar than I thought. Or maybe she was just too preoccupied to notice the false note in my voice. I wish I could say I stopped, that it only happened once. But Nikki's attitude toward me changed immediately. Of course, I couldn't just cut her off completely, it would have looked suspicious, and I didn't want to make Gabby suffer. So we kept talking. But Nikki, she became different. More cheerful, more attentive. It was like she'd forgotten about Jason. Looking back now, I wonder if she was playing a calculated game to pull me in deeper. I don't know. My therapist says I'm just shifting the blame onto her, but why would I lie?
As a professional, I must approach this situation without judgment and with impartiality. My task is to help the client become aware of their feelings, understand them, and choose a course of action that would be the best among the available options for both them and their loved ones. However, there is no perfect solution, and one must be prepared for the fact that someone will inevitably suffer. Instead, the goal should be to minimize this suffering, not to suppress it, but to experience it and move forward. I cannot publicly disclose exactly how I commented on this situation, but I would like to draw your attention to the fact that the gradual closeness between the client and his fiancée's cousin indicates that he harbored hidden dissatisfaction with the relationship. This could stem from various reasons, but it was clearly repressed, leading the situation to gradually spiral out of control.
Anyway, a week later, Nikki found a way to be alone with me again. She didn't invite me over, this time she came to our place. When Gabby stepped into the office for a sudden work call, Nikki sat closer to me. She asked if I was afraid of her. That pissed me off, and I said I had nothing to be afraid of. She smiled, looked at me with those tempting eyes, and said everything would stay between us, that she was on my side. She kissed my ear and quickly pulled away. I gave in. After that, Nikki would invite me over about once a week, and I never said no. Of course, I still thought of Gabby. But I told myself Nikki needed me more, and my fiancé. Well, she wasn't giving me much attention lately, right? When Nikki asked me to hold her, to just stay close for a while, she felt so fragile in my arms. Everything in me screamed that this was wrong, but in that moment, it felt like the only thing that made sense. I comforted her. I was needed. And I allowed myself to be with her. Even though I knew it could destroy everything. It went on for about 2 months. The wedding with Gabby was getting closer. I made a firm decision, 1 month before the ceremony, I would end the affair for good. I was going to be a faithful husband. And then Nikki texted me, "We need to talk." I tried to push the thought away, but deep down I already knew what she wanted to say. Had that bitch tricked me and skipped the pills? I came to the meeting already a little angry, but Nikki's voice was quiet, barely audible, more like a breath than speech. We met at the same bar where Jason had once, it felt like a lifetime ago, confessed he suspected Nikki of cheating. I chose a public place on purpose, hoping it would keep her restrained. But Nikki, somehow, always knew how to disarm me. She was calm and soft-spoken, her body language saying she expected nothing, demanded nothing. But I had to know, yes, she was pregnant. My heart seized. I had tried to prepare myself for this, but the words still left me speechless. For a long moment, I just sat there staring, hearing nothing, seeing nothing. Inside, everything collapsed in an instant. I wanted to ask something, but I couldn't. I had no words. A storm was raging in my head. I loved Gabby. That wasn't just a phrase, she was everything to me. And at the same time, I had betrayed her. With someone who was supposed to be her closest friend. Her family. And now that woman was telling me she might be carrying my child. It was unbearable.
The shocking news of the pregnancy stunned my guest, but it was only the beginning of a series of tragic changes in his life. Nikki's subsequent behavior surprised not only my guest but also me, as she wanted to continue the affair behind her own cousin's back and manipulated my client's emotions. Still, he must face the consequences of his actions, and the unexpected outcome of the situation, along with his difficult moral choice, will be revealed in the next part. In the meantime, Please like this video and subscribe to my channel so I know that my work in this project of public yet anonymous confessions is meaningful and interesting to you.